thinking. So it's like one thing I've learned about when you moving countries, switching countries, is wherever you go in the world, the governments want to know every single last thing about you. They want all your details. They want to know what you're doing. They want to know where you're living. They want to know where you're working. And it's kind of like, I think it's ridiculous that we can't just go to whatever country we want to go, you know. I understand that, you know, culture has got to be preserved, and maybe where countries should not want absolute fucking psychopaths, but like me, like, I'm a fucking psychopath. You know why? Because I walk in shops without masks on. But anyway, it's a tricky one because you don't want psychopaths coming in your country and shit like this, yeah. But the thing that I don't like about it is that the government own the countries and they own the people. You know, you sign your birth certificate when you're born. Well, you don't sign it. Your mummy or daddy does, unless your daddy left you. Boo fucking who if he did. But you're owned by the government, you know, like, it's like everything has to go through them. They want to know every single fucking thing about you, you know. I just find it mad. It's like, to me, it just feels wrong, you know. I don't believe we're on this planet, on this round earth, just to be controlled by small groups, you know. Like, I believe we should be able to just travel everywhere, anywhere we want to. Live, work, enjoy life. And that's my belief, I guess, and I don't know. Like I said, preserving cultures, you don't want psychos. So how do you stop that? It's hard, isn't it? But when it comes down to it, it's like there's countries where you just can't go to. You know, you can only go to some countries for 3 months, and then you're out of there. But the point I'm trying to make is, everywhere you go, right, there's controlling governments that want all your details, everything. They want to know every single thing. And, you know, what do we know about them? What information do we have about them? Do we have their addresses, the names? Do we know what they're doing? Do we know what banks they've got? Do we know where they live? We don't know shit about them. So, you know, they can portray themselves how they want, but we don't really know what they're doing behind closed doors. We have no idea who they are. People don't care, you know. People just think, oh, it's the gov, you know. It's our government. Now, I just want to say that I love Western culture, man. I absolutely love living in Western societies, right? But that doesn't mean that they don't have problems, and that doesn't mean that I can't bring up problems that I think are actually. I think that it's more global, because we have different politics, yeah, everywhere, but any country you go to is the same systems, right? Same road systems, cars, you know, same energy resources, you know, same, you know, there's armies in every country, you know, there's addiction in every country. There's poison and toxins, and, you know, there's shit in the air, there's shit in the food. Do you know what I mean? And this is global. This is not, of course, there's areas of nature and everything like this, but when we talk about living in the urban lands, in the fucking cities, in the villages, you know, it's, no matter where you go, you know, you find, unless you go to tribes and shit like this, you find similarities and same systems, you know, pharmaceutical system, medical systems. I know they're different from each other, but it's all the same, similar medicines being used. Like, it's all the same system. Like, it's armies, police, so it's like governments, it's bankers, governments, armies, police, and then it's us, you know, at the bottom of the control pile, and that's global. So can we think a bit outside of the box with this one? Because yeah, Western culture is amazing, yeah, and there's much horrible places to live, yeah, under different ruling, you know, but at the end of the day it's all under ruling, you know. And yeah, we do need leaders, we do need control to a certain extent, I think, because systems have to work. But do we really need this much? Do we really need it to the point where it's everything about us being, you know, taken by computers, taken by government, full control over our lives, you know? They can see where we are at all times. They can ask, they can basically force us into answering questions about ourselves, about our lives, and you know, they say it's all in good faith, yeah. But I beg to differ, you know. I beg to differ. I just wonder why people want so much control, you know. I don't want to control people, you know. In my life, the only person that I control, or control, commas, because you could question that as well, because I'm out of control, you know. I bang fucking hoes and I sniff ketamine. No, I'm joking. I've got all respect for ketamine and women, so let's not go down that route. But what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I want to control myself, you know. I don't want to control others. I don't feel the need to control others and to know what. I don't want to be in other people's businesses. I don't want to know any information of other people, right? So the people that do, it's like, I can't understand their point of view, you know, because it's just like the whole system to me, just, it doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel right that the people at the bottom, you know, we're threatened, especially with taxes, man. Been thinking about this recently, you know. Like, the governments, they will fuck you, you know. Like, if you don't pay tax, they'll fuck you, right? And you could say, yeah, it goes to good causes, but we can see, you know, that it doesn't always go to good causes, because there's, you know, wars happen, you know, weapons get bought, you know, like this kind of thing. Like, they use tax money for that, you know? So a lot of evil and destruction in the world is used with tax money, right? And how naive are we to think that our governments are doing only good? Because each person has good and evil in them. Every single person has good and evil in them. You can't look at yourself and say that you're an angel and that you've not got badness in you. Everyone likes to think, you know, they like to think that they're perfect, they're a good person, you know, that they're a loving, kind person, right? And I went through my life thinking that too, but now it's, you have to understand that you have evil in you. And it's not always conscious. It's not always intentional, but you have ignorance and evil within you, and you are willing. Most people are willing to lie, right? Whether it's small lies, big lies. Most people are willing to do things to get what they want, you know. A lot of people, well, everyone has an ego, but some people have really strong kind of authoritarian egos. For instance, you know, think about your bosses that you've had in the past. I know I've had some very egotistical bosses that, you know, that they don't care much about who they're employing. They care about money, you know. Narcissism. They want money, but they'll stomp all over people to get the money, and they'll be pricks, right? But It's unconsciousness inside them. It's a lack of love inside them, right? But people really need to think about this, right, with government, right? Because these people are kind of, they live differently, you know, and they do what they can to line their pockets, you know. And don't ever think, don't be stupid enough to think that they don't fucking, like, these people make the laws, right? So they can easily just twist things and just like do criminal shit and just do fraudulent shit, corrupt shit. They have the money to influence media, they have the money to influence, so they can commit crimes, right? Now we're talking about every government, yeah? I'm saying that every government is corrupt. I'm saying that might be a lie. There's absolutely no evidence about that, yeah? But seeing as all the systems are pretty much the same, with slight differences, or big differences sometimes, but all the systems are the same. Therefore, there is all corruption in government. Now, don't flag me up on that point that I just made. I think it was a bit weak, to be fair, but the point I'm trying to say is there's good and evil in everyone, right? And don't be surprised if you get groups of evil people that are trying to that take the power too far, you know, because some people are just twisted in the face, you know. They like to control people. That's all they do. Do you know someone like that? I sure do. I've definitely lived with people that want to control you, that want too much from you, you know, that want to dictate your life and watch what you're doing all the time and monitor you and shit like that. I understand about that, right? So on a micro scale I understand about that, but I understand this on a macro scale, right? So I think I'm going to just leave it at this because we're on 12 minutes, but just have a think about it. I think there's too much control. I think we should, you see, just to add to this, what I was talking about before, it's weird, isn't it? You're born in one country, yeah, and you have less rights than if you're born in a different country. You're born in one country, you have less rights. You're born in the UK, yeah, like you have different rights to someone born in, say, Saudi Arabia, or in somewhere in Europe, just anywhere. Like, so it feels a bit, when I say rights, I mean rights about traveling, you know, where you can go, where you can live, where you can stay, where you can be. So that to me it's too much control. It's too much control. Like, the world should be free, you know. We need freedom, yeah. And security, do we really need it that much? We need freedom more. Freedom equals happy people, like me, John, yeah, John Hall, yeah, Tim Hall's brother, yeah. Go suck your fucking mum.